Hey everybody, and as you can see, I'm here in Tokyo in the Godzilla room. And you know what? It's been a while since I did a proper movie review like I usually do. And I'm sorry to be very delayed on this review because, well, honestly, I've been traveling in Japan and it was hardly any time to make to see movies. Except for one particular movie, at least for today. And that is none other than Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I know that in the States and even here in Japan, the movie just came out last week. But I just had to wait until I get my check-in for the Hotel Gracery in Shinjuku to make my Godzilla film. Why? Because it's proper. I think it was proper to do that. So, I just had to wait for this, and I grabbed two of these Pokemon that I got here in Japan, Bryony and Eevee. I feel kind of cozy with them. And, well, I gotta say that, yeah, this room with a lot of Godzilla stuff in me. Well, where can I start? First of all, I'm gonna give out a shout out to some of the some YouTubers that I promised to give out a little bit of a shout out. Okay, not exactly YouTubers. Okay, some of them. Some are kind of like other amateurish guys who make videos out of or video reviews out of anything. So here goes. First, my first shout out is to Morgan Ledger, who makes vaulting. He made three Godzilla reviews, some of his corny ones. Also, I want to make a shout out to James Sullivan, who also known as Hymetude. Pretty nice guy when he was with the chat, and I support these guys. They do some material that are not very used to, the usual YouTuber videos that you see. And also I want to give out a shout out to the British Gamers One Shot Plays with Joe and Ben. And so these are my promised shout outs from the Godzilla room here. So right now I think it is time for me to talk about my experience on watching the Godzilla. Let me tell you, the hotel that I am is actually very very close to the movie theater, which is called Toho Cinemas, which is fitting because Toho is practically the company that makes Godzilla. And well, so I went there, and not only I just went to a normal regular screening, it was kind of like the big screen. The screen is technically a little bit bigger than the one I'm used to in New Jersey, the common ones. And they had this Dolby surround sound that it was really powerful, that it enhanced the sound effects. And also, luckily for me, I watched the English version. They had the English version. Of course, that for a Japanese audience, they subtitle it, but I don't mind. I'm used to subtitles and everything. And, well, also I want to tell you that I did have a little bit of a snack. I ate chocolate churros and fried chicken with a soda, of course. And another thing that I want to tell you is that the Japanese people in the movie theaters are really polite. They're very quiet. They give you this for the food. They give you this platter that you can enhance it to the chair. Not many movie theaters they do that in the States. When you see the movie, they show the movie trailers. Some of them were the Japanese ones. I did saw the Secret Life of Pets trailer. I also saw this trailer of a movie called Dinner. which apparently is about an exclusive restaurant that is only used to serve assassins. And also, I gotta admit that they also have some very funny, how can I say, warning shorts, in which one of them involves some big lip, but kind of like balls of flesh that tells you the no-nos of what not to do in a movie theater. And the other one is that there is kind of like this really, really funny video about humanoid video camera bothering a humanoid popcorn and a humanoid soda. And this camera guy is usually trying to record the movie, and is always being arrested by a humanoid police siren. It's so Japanese, but also very amusing. But basically, this is a movie that this is kind of like an ad against piracy. It's funny that they go a little bit for a more appealing approach and a more funny approach, much more than the usual very serious tone that I see in the Karasoda's movie theaters. The AMCs, they kind of do that. And after that, then it's the movie. Then we finally see the movie. The movie went on, and here's another thing that before I start talking about the movie review. That is that after the movie ended, nobody stand up and walk away. They just kept into the credits. I know that this movie has an after credits sequence, but none of the Japanese people were standing up, or they don't want to see the movie. The movie. They just sit there quietly watching the movie credits. There were a few Americans that they did stand up and leave the movie theater, but no, the Japanese just stay there until the very, very end. And when the lights came out, they just politely clean up their mess, and they return their trays, and that's it. This is something admirable and something very polite. And with that said, I think it is time to talk about the movie. So, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Actually, before I start out saying it, I just gotta say that I do have quite an admiration to the Godzilla movies. I saw kind of most of them, not all of them. I did saw the original one, and the original film is a masterpiece. Well, the other ones are technically popcorn flicks, I'll say. I think that the last one I saw before watching this movie is actually Final Wars. Oh, don't worry, I did saw the American Godzilla film. The other one. Yeah, that one. And also I did saw Kong Skull Island. And yeah, I did also saw Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla, the movie, the Japanese Godzilla film, the latest one. But this one is technically the new American Godzilla film, which is, I gotta say that, honestly, the first American Godzilla film, actually the good one, it did have some promise. It shows that we can do a good American Godzilla film. The only problem that that movie had is that Godzilla, it wasn't there enough. It felt teased a lot, and every time there was a kind of like an action moment, you get teased. It's like, nope, you're not gonna get any. And then we got, even though it's not about Godzilla, we do have Kong Skull Island, which I thought that movie was okay, despite that I'm not a big fan of King Kong. And I gotta admit that I was so excited to watch Godzilla, King of the Monster, because it felt like things were doing right from what they should have done in the other movie. So the first movie was technically kind of like a setup, because in the third, because from what we saw in the trailer, we're gonna get the monster that we can recognize. Not only Godzilla, but also we're gonna get Mothra. We're gonna get Rodan, and of course, his biggest nemesis, King Ghidorah. And well, I was so excited and finally watched the film, which basically the movie is indeed a sequel from the last movie. It takes place 4 or 5 years after the last movie, in which, yeah, Godzilla. Let's say that there is some that Godzilla have leave a print on many people and our character from the last movie. So much that even an organization was created to, keep the monsters in bay, considering that they've been finding that these monsters exist. The monsters are being called Titans, and then how can I explain? Because then well, it is hard. Let me have a little bit of a thought, because when the premise can be both genius but at the same time stupid. But this is no surprise in any monster movie. Sorry about that, guys. It's that I actually needed the computer in front of me to, remember some of the names. But basically, the movie starts out. I think that the motherly character from the last movie. She's played by, Vera Farmiga, who she's living with her daughter, played by Millie Bobby Brown, and well, she kind of invents a device called an orca, which is technically a frequency that allows to tame the Titans, in this case the monsters. And she tried out on Mothra. That is until she and the daughter are ambushed and kidnapped by this kind of like eco-terrorist led by what was the name of this guy? Charles Dance. Yes, by Charles Dance. And then it is up to the father figure, played by Kyle Chandler, to rescue his daughter, because he kind of doesn't care about his wife, Vera. But you know what? I'll get to that. The thing is that they want the orca frequency machine in order to release the Titans so they can destroy the world. And of course, Godzilla is in it. And this is technically the summarized version of what Godzilla King of the Monsters is. But this is just the intro. But before I continue, let me tell you this. I had a lot of fun with this film. And the funny thing is that I saw this film at 9:40 a.m. And for the most part, between the human part, like any other Godzilla movies, was technically kind of feeling boring, because this is something that, this is kind of like the stigma that these kind of movies have. You go for the spectacle, which is none other than the monsters. And I was falling asleep. It's technically that, maybe it's that I didn't sleep well or something like that. But I kept pressing on because I was thinking, I'm gonna wait until the movie gets better. And when the monsters appear, this is where it becomes so action-packed. It's so action-packed that this movie is actually really long. This movie is long. At 9:40, and I get out of this film at 12 p.m. And it feels long, I'll say. And well, continuing on, here's the thing about this movie that kind of work, at least on the human side, because while many people will complain that all the humans are stupid and all this stuff, well, there is a little bit of stupidity in there, but there is kind of like a fine line between stubbornness, irrationality, that is skills with rationality, and all this stuff. Because here's the thing, the biggest, technically, I'll say that even though the movie's biggest bad guy is King Ghidorah, their biggest villain is is technically, well, the eco-terrorist. Although I will say that, what was the name of this guy again? Charles Dance's character. He is kind of like a two-dimensional bad guy who is kind of like an eco-terrorist who wants to wipe out humanity so they can, because they think that humanity is kind of like a plague. It's only Vera, the mother character, Vera Farmiga, that she is actually kind of like the real monster in this one. Although she is a monster with a two-dimensionality. How can I explain it? Because the whole thing is that she's very proud of her work, and she's showing what she can do to her daughter. Even though most of the things is that the father, Kyle Chandler, he's kind of against it. And most of this is because they both, the whole family is trying to cope up with it because of the death of their son from the last movie. And, well, let's say that one decides to cope by going into nature, taking picture of wolves eating their prey. The other tries to tame the monsters. But later, she kind of thinks that humans are a little bit at this service, so she's gonna try to release the monsters so they can kill off humanity because, well, the Titans are the true rulers of the Earth, and they're gonna bring balance to the planet. While I know that I heard many things about that, but the way she talks about it, it really sounds like a really self-righteous act that is actually pretty scummy. And it is kind of, and this thing kind of appears kind of later in the film, before kind of like the monster wreak havoc. And it's funny that all it starts off is by awakening none other than King Ghidorah. At first they called him Monster Zero, which, a little bit of a trivia note, that's actually the name that King Ghidorah had in the first appearance. I think that also is the name of the first movie that King Ghidorah appeared, Monster Zero. And, well, honestly, it is true. And during the whole film, the character of Vera Farmiga, once she begins to talk about humans and infection and all this stuff, and talking her self-righteous personality, she didn't earn my pity and all this stuff. Of course that the movie tries to make her redeem herself, but in a way I think that the damage is already done, that in which she's, you kind of see that there's a hypocritical sense of wanting to destroy humanity for the sake of everybody, but she doesn't realize that other people also has families. It's kind of like, and when she's kind of getting worried about the safety of her daughter, that's technically hypocritical because I'm gonna sound mean, but if you want to destroy humanity for the sake of the planet, let's not include our families. They're a no-go. I know it sounds evil, but hey, why not? If you wanna go all out, better go all out. So basically, King Ghidorah appears, and he is destroying everything. And of course, when King Ghidorah comes, Godzilla must come. And yes, every time where Godzilla comes out is an epic battle. And let me tell you this, I have a little bit of a mixed feeling about the design of Godzilla, at least the American one. I'm not saying that it's terrible. No, no, no. It's actually really, really good. My only nitpick that I have with this design of the American Godzilla is that it's a little bit too chubby, I'll say. This is a kind of like a nitpick, I'll say. It's a little bit chubby. And honestly, if they could slimmer it out a little bit to make it a little bit more muscular, well, technically like the original one, I'll do. So don't worry, it's just me. I'm not gonna complain anything. But King Ghidorah looks awesome. Ghidorah is, it looks like this design of the other ones, but honestly, I think that is the best Ghidorah I have seen in any other films. He looks great. I mean, I saw Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and even I saw Godzilla versus Ghidorah versus Mothra, all out monster attack. And yeah, and Final Wars too. But this Ghidorah is looking great. And speaking of great, Mothra also really, really looks good. Okay, that's kind of embarrassing. My camera was running out of battery, so I had to change the position and then keep on recording while being plugged in to the camera and everything. But anyway, like I was saying, Mothra looks great. Because in the other original Toho films, Mothra, you kind of feel that you notice that it kind of looks a little bit fake and not like looking like an insect at all, or a butterfly. Yeah, I know that it's a moth, a giant moth. But this one, they made her look much more insect-like, and I really like that update. And making her glow a little bit brighter is technically beautiful. And I also like the redesign, a little bit of the redesign of Rodan in this case. He really looks a little bit more fiery compared to the other series, that how they make him. You also see a little bit of other monster there, like there's the giant spider. I think it was Angulus or something like that. I don't know. Is that technically that monster? And by the way, yes, we do have cameos of King Kong twice. And that brings me to saying that it really does work well on special effects. The special effects are top notch. But, oh yeah. I gotta tell you that. I warned you guys. This movie, it could give you epilepsy if you're not used to bright lights. The bright lights are really flashy. So, if you're not used to very bright lights, don't watch this film. Or at least have some sunglasses or something like that. Because there are some parts that I had to cover my eyes so I don't get blinded. And it doesn't help that I was watching this movie on an extra large movie theater. And then just in case, I wasn't technically in the front row. I was in the middle row. And okay, what else I can talk about this movie? Oh yeah, this movie also has Ken Watanabe in there. And you know what? Any movie that has Ken Watanabe is pretty glorious, because Ken Watanabe, I think that he is probably the most unique actor there is. He can play wise characters no matter what role you gave him. He has this wise tone in everything that you give him. I think he is on par, at least for me, to Gary Oldman or Pat Morita. And honestly, and he does have a way to bring a little bit of sophistication to the film. And honestly, that gives me I can give you that there's a whole lot of respect to this guy. But with that all saying, this movie has a lot of action scenes that somehow it is combined with a lot of the human side that if you're not too invested into the characters, you might say that all these people are making stupid decisions. And in a way they are. It's kind of like a B-plot film that I'm used to it. And although, to be fair, they try. And I've seen worse. They do better than what you expect. And like I did say before, this movie also has a few Easter eggs that you want to notice. I mean, they mention again the Monster Zero thing. They mention and use the hydrogen bomb. The oxygen bomb. I kind of slipped out the name. I think it's the oxygen bomb. Again, King Kong, because they are establishing that we're gonna get a real Godzilla versus King Kong film. And that's basically some of the stuff I have to say while not trying to spoil the film. But I enjoy it, I'll say. The destruction is big, the monsters are big, the titans are great. There is a semblance of an arc there. And a little bit of the cartoonish villains there is. It's a lot of fun. I actually enjoy it. I don't expect too much of finding like the meaning of life in Godzilla. Except that Godzilla always was meant to be a symbol of the destruction of nuclear weapons, since Godzilla is well a being that came out from them. And honestly, in many of these movies, including this one, somehow it feels like they kind of also acknowledge some of the uses of nuclear weaponry in order to, let's say, to help Godzilla. And in a way, you can see it like that it's technically a little bit of a necessary evil. Because no matter which side you're on, Godzilla never is on the side of humans. He just goes where it feels convenient. But he's not exactly an unreasonable monster. Let's say that Godzilla, despite his strength, is technically the lesser of two evils compared to King Ghidorah, which there is something about King Ghidorah that makes it that I'm not gonna reveal what it is, but let's say that this reveal kind of makes the theory of Bear's character tumble, and well, let's say that. And by the way, the kid actor is actually pretty good, and she does have an arc that involves the trust of her mother. I kind of wish that they didn't push out on her redemption a little bit, because sometimes a character doesn't necessarily deserve some kind of redemption. And what else I can say? I think that, yep, basically it. I enjoy it. Godzilla King of the Monsters is definitely gonna be a good movie in my book. And what a way to close up my vacation here in Tokyo. Watching Godzilla, watching it here in this room. Man, it just feels so good. What was that? Huh? Seriously, guys. What is going on? Huh? What's that? Huh? What? Huh? What is going on? Brian, Evie, are you guys? What the?
ここで緊急ニュースです。中継です。
What?
渡辺さん。
What is happening?
上空の渡辺です。見てください。東京の街が大変なことになっております。至る所から煙が立ち込めており、状況を把握できません。
Oh no.
渡辺さん、何が起きてるんですか？私たちの先、ちょうど新宿付近ですね。何か大きな影が動いていますが、正確にはまだわかりません。それはどれぐらいの大きさですか？煙が多く、はっきりと把握できません。上空には自衛隊のヘリコプターが多数飛んでおりますが、近づくことができません。把握することができません。ゴジラです。皆さん、ゴジラがいます。
No way! Hey! Oh no, guys. Run! It's Godzilla! Oh dear. Whoa! No, kid, no, don't turn into the victim. Oh God.